might be thinking red, but I would have never been thinking red if they weren't in the room. And red is better than blue. So those are things
about
that
our team color argument.
Yeah. So, yeah. So those are the things, And,
Alright, I got it all. Alright, on today's episode of the Roy Runback, I will go on some great guests. I'm in a room full of excellent people, some of the nicest guys I know. With Coach Evan Mitchner, Coach Rob Johnson, and Coach Alex Ruiz. Guys, how you doing?
Good, man. Happy to be here, man.
Yeah.
Happy to be back, man.
Yeah.
Something's gonna make it happen.
I know.
It's crazy. It's been a while. It's been awesome. I met all these I met you this first and up in Providence, and I met you at Corey's gym, and I met you at some tryouts. It's awesome to get you guys all in one room together because you guys are just great personalities, some great people overall. But the reason why we're here today for this interview is Team Unknown is the new AAU team in Rhode Island, and very excited for this team to come about. And I know you guys are just great people running it, so I know the kids are in great hands and what you guys are going to do for the kids, which is absolutely amazing. So I want to start with my first question, and maybe Coach Johnson, you can answer this. Where did the idea of Team Unknown come from?
That's a very good question. The very short, condensed version of it is a gentleman that I consider my mentor that actually got me started, Coach Earn, into basketball, had a concept which he named Team Unknown. He felt like some of the kids in the region weren't getting the proper training necessary to be successful on the next level. And we all kind of linked up, and I asked him, could we utilize the name? He said, yeah. So I would have to say our mission statement is to bring high-level basketball to a region that is in need of some mentors to not only teach the kids basketball, but also life lessons.
Right, and it's a region that gets overlooked at that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So. Yeah, and that's important for us, and that's why because I consider us a team, just like on the basketball court, made a decision to come up with this organization because there was a dire need for it.
Yeah, it's awesome to see. Yeah, there is a need, and like Coach Mitchner, like you said, I think Rhode Island, like New England area, Connecticut, we all get overlooked. I think a lot of people don't even know where Rhode Island is. Sometimes I've had this conversation with like Tedrick Wilcox, where he would be like, people think I'm from Long Island, and I'm like, no, or like I've had that conversation with kids in college as well too. So the name Team Unknown, and everything that you guys are building is about in Rhode Island. What are you guys looking to do and help these kids out? Coach Mitchner, maybe you can start.
Well, the ultimate goal is, like Coach Rob said, to get these guys to play at the next level. Not necessarily banking on them being NBA players or NBA stars. But the ultimate goal is always education, you know what I mean? So if we could get these guys some free education and put them on a platform and have some fun in the process, then we're doing our job, man.
Yeah.
You know, like, just came in to try to fill a void that took over in the state and put these kids in position.
I love it. And how did you guys all come together? Like, this is like almost like bringing the Avengers together.
Right,
so,
right.
Yeah.
And there's still some pieces missing. There's still some very important pieces missing.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Coach Rob, you want to take it, or I could take it?
I mean, it just, everybody knows God never makes mistakes, and we got a dynamic group of guys, from Corey Jr. to Coach Earn, to a lot of people that we affiliate ourselves with that have got us to this point where we were able to put all these masterminds in a room and come up with a successful program. What people see in the gym on the court is only 10% of what goes on behind the scenes. The collaborations, the meetings, the traveling. I went from Massachusetts to Rhode Island to the Bronx to Baltimore in one day, all in meetings to meet with some people, some high caliber people, and just get a lot of advice and navigate my way through this terrain that they call basketball. So at the end of the day, you got to have like-minded people that have the same views and ideologies as you.
Right.
If you don't have that, it's not going to work. My former past life being in law enforcement, I hang my hat on ethics and integrity. And those are the type of people that when you have them in the room, you don't have to overthink because you know what their cloth is worth. The gift is that all of those people that have all those great qualities are all basketball guys. So that was the gift. And we took all the egos out of the room and it just kind of just worked for us. It just really just worked.
And just to add on to that, like I was saying, we felt like there was a void in the collective that we have because that's how we operate. We operate as a collective.
Yeah.
Like the three guys you see here, and you add in Corey Ray Jr. and Ernest McNair, and a few other people that are sort of like serving as consultants and assisting us get things off the ground and running. We saw there was a vibe, like he said, like-minded people who's like, listen, let's do something for these kids. It's not about the bucks. It's not about our egos or our reputations or us, any ulterior motives from anyone. Because we actually sat here and had an argument about who's actually going to be called the director.
Yeah.
Who's going to be called this. We sat in a 2-hour meeting discussing it because everybody was like, nah, I don't want to be the guy everybody looks at.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Everybody has their own reasons as to why they wanted that or didn't want that position, but it just shows the level of humility that's amongst this group. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Seems like you guys don't have not a lot of personalities trying to get in the way. It seems like you guys are on the same playing field and the same level, and you have all one goal for each other as well, and like as a goal to get the kids and the education for basketball, and that's awesome. And I think basketball is such a big aspect of Rhode Island and what you guys are going to be able to do, and as well as Connecticut, what you guys are going to be able to do there. And how did you guys get linked up with the Connecticut team as well too? You're working with Connecticut. I can't think of the name of it.
Connecticut Wolves.
Yeah, Connecticut Wolves, shout out to them. Just like-minded people that wanted to bring something to the region. I think it just works because I think we all bring a skill set.
Yeah.
Whether it's coaching, whether it's an administrative position, whether it's knowing how to get into meetings that you normally wouldn't be able to get into or make contacts with people. I think we all brought a specific skill set to the program. With that being said, we wanted to structure our organization like a business because, like we said, you only see a small percentage of what goes on the basketball court, but if you don't do the back end stuff the right way and establish that from the interim, you're destined to fail. Yeah. So we've got people in the place that that reach out to the communities and look for talent. From big shout out to Coach Ev, who will be the president of Team Unknown. I'm making it known today to the world.
It wasn't something I was accepted.
We forced it into that.
I left the meeting a few minutes early and got a phone call the next day. It was like, yeah, when you left, by the way, we decided that.
Yes. Yeah, so and also
that's how it is.
Yeah, and then he'll be running the middle school. He'll be the director of the middle school aspect of it. And then shout out to DJ from Connecticut Wolves that will be running. He'll be the director of the high school division. So we've really, this was something that just wasn't a knee-jerk reaction. Like he said, we sat in this room for hours. So we got presidents, directors, the business aspect of it, putting somebody in as the CEO. We got the CFO. We got a COO. We have all those things because those things are vital.
Player development, and these are actually people. They're not just titles that we're throwing out there to say this is what we're doing, we're different.
Yeah.
These are actual people that are good at what they do.
Good at what they do.
Which is why they were placed in those positions. You know what I mean? So it's we're just taking a different approach. It's not like a bunch of friends like, yo, let's put together a program. Nah, we're doing the backdoor work. Like Coach Rob busts his ass every day, literally on the phone from the time he wakes up till I get a phone call at 10 o'clock at night. Yo, Coach, you got a minute? Spoke to this person. Spoke to this lawyer, spoke to this doctor, spoke to this dude, this team organizer, spoke to, like, the ball's really moving fast. And I think I know we're going to be successful because of the amount of people that are all on the same page. Now, I'm not oblivious to the fact that when you have a lot of hands in the pot, sometimes things get mixed up. However, what I'm banking on is, and what we've had so far, is complete transparency across the board. You know what I mean? No one's walked in like, yeah, I'm gonna do this and then leave and say, leave and be like, screw that, I'm gonna do something different. You know what I mean? So we're banking on that transparency, and at the end of the day, everyone's adults, man. Like, if
Yeah.
I can't trust you and take your word, then we don't need to be working together. And the first time you show me that, then we'll just have to deal with it accordingly.
Yeah.
However, I don't see those problems happening because we're big on everyone being on the same page and having the same goal for the program. So
Yeah, and I think what he said, it doesn't work. It does not work on any level if you don't have communication.
Yeah.
We had a conversation off mic, and integrity is everything. So you have to be honest with people. And I just retired after 22 and a half years from law enforcement. So my supervisor used to say, money's a bad motivator sometimes. So if you're doing it for that and it's not about the objective, which is the child, you'll always be at a disadvantage. So I'm doing this because what people don't know is I'm from New York City. I'm from Webster. I never knew my father. I grew up in projects. And it was a guy, big shout out to my coach Dave Jones, who was my New York, I played for the New York City Gauchos. For those that don't know, in the 80s, the 70s, the 80s, and the 90s, they were the best AAU hands down in the country.
Yeah.
I say all that to say is, my father was my AAU basketball coach, Dave Jones. If it wasn't for him pulling me out of a bad situation and investing his time and the Gauchos' money into a kid that maybe somebody would walk by and say, oh, he's just a project kid, or he'll never amount to nothing, I probably would have been in those situations where I would have been dead or incarcerated or back in those same vicarious situations. So I had to look at that. We had to look at that and say, we have to give back. We have to each one teach one, pull each other out. And that's why all of these men in this room said, you know what? It is about the kids. So I say all that to say is this is destined to be successful because the mission, the narrative, is never about the dollar. It's about the kid and putting them on a platform where mom doesn't have money for them to go to prep school, or mom doesn't have money for them to go to college. But the kid has a skill set that will give him the opportunity to better his life. So my conversations with my kids, I have 4 of them, and all of them are my kids in the program, is when parents come to me and they say to the kid, what is it that you want to accomplish? And the kid says, I want to go to college, I want to go to prep school, I want to go to the pros. Your job as the mentor and the parent is to put that kid in a situation where he has all of the resources. Right. Whether that's getting them to, and the time out with that is the parents have to buy in. That's whether you got to get him to practice, whether you got to buy sneakers for him, whether you got to teach him about nutrition, deal with his ailments when he gets hurt, get him into training. That's your job as the mentor and as the parent, right? Subsequent to that conversation is with him and God, where his trajectory will go. But if you don't have the resources because they're kids, you don't have the resources to put them in a position to be successful, and we're adults, then it's shame on you. Yeah, we know every kid is not going to go Division I. I get it. But there's money out there for kids that can go Division II.
Multiple levels.
Right? Everybody's not going to the pros. You see the percentages. That's null and void, and that's irrelevant to getting a kid out of a bad situation. And I tell kids that everybody's MBA looks different, right? Your MBA could be a Division II scholarship that's going to get you out of a bad situation, that's going to propel you to be able to take care of your family and be successful, right? The next kid might be a Division I, the next kid might be a pro. But everybody's heaven/MBA looks different. And I think if you just take the filters off and just say, this kid is not a high-level kid, or this kid is not an NBA prospect, and you just believe in the kid, you'll never know what his potential will be, right? It's our job as a community, right? You see what's going on out in the media and in the public. It's horrible. But somebody has to take a stance and say, you know what? I got to play my part, right? Like we got to wear our masks in the community. I got to play my part in the region. And this is my version of the Bronx. I'm not in the Bronx no more. I'm not in Harlem no more, but I can still reach out into any community and help people. And the flip side of that is not all about the inner city kids too, because some of the kids out that out in the suburbs don't have access or to high level coaches that can really teach them, right? I could roll a ball out, take your parents' money, shame on me, because am I really teaching the child? Am I really teaching him how to get through that screen, slip screen, so when he goes to the next level, he doesn't sit the bench because he hadn't been taught that? So those are the things that we bring.
And not for nothing, Coach, like you touched on reaching out to the suburbs. Not all of those kids are in good situations or positions.
I agree with that.
Like, they have their own struggles as well. So it's never a label like, oh, they only want to work with the inner city kids. No, we want to help kids that need help, period. No matter where they come from. You know what I mean? There's alcoholism everywhere. There's drug abuse everywhere.
Yeah.
There's domestic abuse everywhere. So just because little Timmy might live in a $700,000 home, he still may be having his own struggles. You know what I mean? So I don't ever want anyone to think we're just trying to build something for the inner city. We're trying to build something to help, period.
Kids.
Period. Like, because I was that kid in the streets running around. If I ain't get kicked in my behind, who knows where I would have been. You know what I mean? So to have that impact on the kid is the only thing you shoot for.
For us individuals, we all want to guide the kid in the right way. We all been through situations that put us in this position that we are today. As fathers, because we all fathers, we want to give the best advice and the best guidance to every kid that we come across. We're going to come across way more kids, a lot more kids than a normal person will, because we're in a program. But the best thing about us is that we're looking for the best interest of the kid as a development player and as a future doctor or a future police officer, whatever. We're gonna make sure that we do our part to guide the kid in the right way. As a coach, with the experience of the drills and the experience of a team atmosphere, communication, that's gonna be big for a lot of kids. As directors, they're going to be around guiding kids, talking to coaches. I think us collectively, the people that are involved with Team Unknown, is probably the best all-star team you can put together. We all been through it. We all know what it takes to get out of it, and we all know where we want to be in life. So we want to treat every kid equal, from the suburbs to the inner city to all around New England. We're trying to make it big, and we will.
Man, I'm like inspired just sitting here. I'm like getting emotional listening to you guys talk about how important it is to like get these kids in the right position, just be mentors. Like, we don't have that enough in this world. And I think like having that in a collective group of what you guys are going to do for Team Unknown and be able to like be mentors to these young men that come into the gym and everything is like unbelievable. Like, I wish I had this when I was younger. It'd be great to work around you guys and be around you guys and be that inspiration, because you can just hear the passion in all your voices when you talk. And I know the passion's there. And like, just from speaking to you off air and everything like that, it's crazy. It's like, I like just hearing what you're going to do and the hope and help these young men out and get them in the right guidance. And it's just, like you said, everyone's MBA is different. Like, it could be NIA, JUCO, Division III, Division I, Division II, just to get you in a better situation and getting that college education, because that could take you to another level no matter what, like you said. And then I think Coach Ruiz, you had the best statement on your Instagram story the other day, which was like the mission statement of
Yes.
future doctors.
That's exactly what we're shooting for. As a collective right here, we got great minds put together. I think that Rob being the top guy and Evan being the guy for the middle school, Evan has paved the way for many years. Everyone knows his son is up in the rise. He paved the way already. So him giving us the right tournaments, the right guidance, it's A class.
Yeah.
You know, so I think that with all of us together, this will be a successful team. This is not just a pop-up program. This is going to be a program that's for the kids. None of us have intentions of making money. We all want to give back. And I think that's the key right there.
And I had someone question me the other day, right? And they said, your son, he's getting older. What are you going to do, when he's off to college or when he eventually leaves, if he leaves to another prep school or anything like that? What do you mean? Like, I'm still gonna be where I'm at. Like, it's not just about my son.
Yeah.
I stopped coaching my son a few years ago because of that. Like, no, I don't want to coach him. Let me go coach a different group of kids and give them whatever I can in terms, you know what I'm saying, of helping him.
Yeah.
So it's not about my son, and that narrative is out there, and I just kind of wanted to put that out there. But no, I'm not going anywhere. Like, my goal is helping these kids, point blank, period. I do it as a career. I do it in as far as AAU basketball. I do it with high school basketball. You know, it's just a passion, and it's bigger than me just trying to put my son in position. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And then it's funny when you bring that up, because I feel like when we met up at Corey Brown's, and then I feel like when you were talking about every kid, he's like, you're like, that's my other son.
Yeah,
That's my other son. Like, this is the connections that
Yeah.
you just know.
And then like every kid came up to you and like said hello to you, so you can just tell like you have a big impact.
Those are my guys, man, and it just comes from being genuine and these kids feeling like they actually have someone they can talk to, even if it's not even a deep introspective conversation. Just, yo, listen, I'm tired as hell, coach. Like, yeah, what happened? Why you ain't sleeping?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? It's small things. It doesn't have to be anything super deep.
Yeah.
They just know and feel comfortable enough to have a conversation with me on any level. That's what I shoot for, because a lot of these kids don't have that male figure, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Like, the narrative's changing some now because more men are stepping up to the plate, thank God. But there's still those kids that don't have that. So that's where a basketball coach or a soccer coach or football coach will come in, and we're just trying to fill that role and fill it the right way. You know what I mean? I'm big on preaching, whatever team you bring your kid to, it has to be more than just a basketball coach. Because if you think about it, that man is spending an entirely large amount of time with your child.
Yeah.
Practices, games, car rides, and everything in between. So they have to be a good person. Like, if you're not a good person, I'm not putting my son around you, regardless.
Yeah.
You could be the greatest coach in the world or the history of basketball. Doesn't matter to me. If you're not a person of integrity and really in it for the right reasons to genuinely help these children, then you gotta go away.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm glad you said that, because somebody could watch this and say, well, what makes them any different than they put this program together so their kids can play? Listen, his son, my son, Coach Ev's son, they play for one of the best AAU teams in the country, not the region. Big shout out to Todd from Expressions, and JoJo and Hugh and Craig and all those guys. They do, Expressions does a phenomenal job.
Yeah.
So if you really want me to peel back the surface, I could have said, I'm all set. We good.
Yeah.
But it wasn't about just our boys. It was about all the men in the community. And just providing them with the tools, like I said, to be successful. But just like when you walk into a basketball gym and I tell you, like, that's only 10% of what you see, when these kids are fighting through screens, or we train them to be dogs and they're working hard in these tournaments, those are life lessons that they're learning. They have to learn communication. They got to learn how to work together. They got to learn how to fight through adversity. Absolutely. And biggest thing, they got to figure it out. Yeah. So, like, I tell my team, like, if you're an adult and let's just say your wife loses her job and times get hard, you got to figure it out. Yeah. But a lot of those traits are picked up when you play sports. Instead of just, what are you going to just lay down and die? Get evicted? Not be able to feed your kids? No, you got to figure it out. Yeah. Just like on a basketball court. It's a fight. It's ups and downs. It's emotion. You have to figure it out. But one thing we always teach them is you never, ever stop working. Yeah. You never, ever give up. So people just say it's about basketball. No, these are life lessons, right? You have to strive to be the best that you can be in life, right?
Absolutely.
And that's what I'm passionate about.
Yeah.
You know? Because guess what? Our kids ain't getting on the court if their grades aren't good, right? I don't see nobody talking about grades, right? And this is the thing that just behooves me. Like, yeah, you want the kid to put the ball in the hole, but for what? For you to look good or for him to excel? And those are the things that you really have to look back on and reflect. Like, nah, I'm doing it because I want this kid to be successful. And you don't know what you don't know. So I linked back up, small story, with my AAU coach, Dave Jones, after 20, 30 years. In the time, in the moment, you just think it's basketball. But when I spoke to him, I just said, you know what, Dave? I waited 30 years to tell you this. Thank you. Because I get it.
Yeah.
When you get yelled at and the coach is going crazy and he's benching you and all these emotions that adolescents are going to have,
Yeah.
you don't get it. But when you're a man, and you got bills to pay, and you got kids to oversee, and a wife, and this and that, you like, all of that crap that I went through at the Gaucho Gym on 149th Street in the Bronx was for this moment. And the light bulb went off, and I said, thank you. And that's all I'm asking for. I'm not asking for a
Funny
kid to
story.
go to the pros.
Funny story. I don't even know if Coach Rob remembers this. When he first started coaching with me, and his son was playing for me, he came and he was like, "Yeah, Coach, I don't know what's going on with Zarek, man. Like, he's effing up in school. His grades are crazy." I said, I talked to him. Coach, I said, "Listen, if you ain't doing what you need to in school, you can't play for me. I don't give a damn how much you score or how well you play.
Yeah.
You just have to sit." He sat his behind down, got his grades in order. He slipped again. I got another call. I spoke to him, and now he's on track. Like, not saying I'm the end all, because he does have two solid parents at home that put their foot in his butt as well.
Yeah.
However, it's different hearing it from a different voice.
Yes.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, not that Coach Rob couldn't handle his son. He's like, "Listen, I know that he wants to play.
Yeah.
If Coach is on the same page, that's gonna help me. You know what I'm saying? Get him to where he needs to be."
Yeah.
And it worked out. Like, this is so much bigger than basketball, man.
Yeah.
It is bigger than basketball, because every story that we're telling you is through experience. And we all had a coach that inspired us at one point. Just like he said thank you to his coach, I said thank you to my coach, Dave Vitale from the Breakers. He took me out of teams. He put me in teams. He rode me. But to be honest, he made me the man I am today. And because of his inspiration on my life, I want to be able to guide kids in that right path, because I feel as if I'm going to do something, I'm going to do something I love, and it's basketball, and that's where my passion comes from. So I want to put that on to every kid that I come across. The best thing is to just give them guidance, because as like he said, a lot of times at home, they're not getting the right wording, or they're not being told the right way. Coming from a coach says speaks volumes.
Yeah.
Kids buy into who they want to buy into.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. And the parents are just as important as the kids, because like I said, if the parents don't buy in, but you don't know what you don't know, and just big shout out, because it's about 10 of us, I think. I mean, It's only 3 of us here, but the resumes of the coaches is bananas. From #1 AAU teams in the country to #1 prep schools in the country to Providence, Big East, Atlantic 10, overseas, you name it. Like, we have them all on our staff. So I say to you is, how are people training kids to be dogs when they want a dog themselves?
Yeah.
A cat can't train a dog to be a dog. A dog has to train a dog to be a dog.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm seeing too. I'm tired of walking in gyms and seeing dudes that never ever did it, never had to process it, giving out bad information. It hurts the kids. Where when you bring your kid over here, you like, these guys have been in those trenches. I won a national championship with the New York City Gauchos in 1989. I'll let them do the math. These guys have been around for years. I'm new to the game compared to the guys that's in the room, but when you go through something and you're in that room and everybody had to go through it, then we have that ideology and that mindset to say, you know what, that is the right thing. So when the parents come to us and say, is this the right thing, or should I be doing this? It's not a knee-jerk reaction. We're not just telling them something we want them to hear. It's like, no, these are the things, if you want them to get from point A to point B, first of all, it's not a straight line, right? There's curves and dips that you have to take, but the objective is to get across the street. But you can't skip steps. And that's what I'm starting to see. Coaches, programs, parents, kids, skipping steps and not slowing the process down, slowing their brain down to get to where they need to get to. Just like in life. People laugh, right? When I was back in the city, Oh, you going to school? How you going to school? We out here getting this money. Fast. The reward is constant. I went back 20 years ago. They in the same corners and avenues that they was on. And you know what they say? I wish I would have followed the long path. Because the short path, the devil is in the details. Never take if it's easy money, it's bad money. I would rather go through something, earn it. You can never take it away from me. As opposed to somebody give me something real fast and it puts me in a bad situation. And that's what I would tell parents, kids, and other coaches that are thinking about coming to the program. Just really process all the information and all the data accordingly. Listen to your heart. You'll find the answer.
Definitely, absolutely.
No, I mean, you guys are so inspirational and like to sit in this room, but your passion is unbelievable. Like, and it's just crazy. There's just 10 other guys with the same passion as you. So I can only imagine if we had all of you guys in the same room together.
And that's the crazy thing, right? It kind of came together organically, and again, not to his horn, his head's big enough, but got to give Coach Rob a hell of a lot of credit for connecting the dots.
Yes.
Like, we have recruiters in New York City. We have people scouting and recruiting kids in Connecticut. We have Massachusetts. We have Rhode Island. We have New Jersey. Like, the connections of people
coming from Miami.
You got kids coming from Miami literally to play. Like, so it's not just a Rhode Island program. It's not just you know what I mean? Like, we're based here. We're doing it for our kids, but the reach is so much further than what people would assume, especially with us kind of coming out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like, now, granted, a lot of these guys that are involved have been around for a while and they're familiar faces. But working together under the same umbrella, under the same program, it kind of came together pretty quickly. We had one team over the summer, over the fall, over the winter. We had one team, and we're going into the spring with what we know is going to be a full roster of teams.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Along with all of these connections. So it's not like, let us get a building year. We'll have one or two teams, 2 or 3. We're going to have an entire program. And honestly, I know it's going to be a competitive program. It's not just like, this is the first year, let's see what it is. No, we're coming out to compete.
Yeah.
It's that simple. Like, you know what I mean? We're not driving to Massachusetts every weekend. No shot to anybody that does. I'm not, you know what I mean? I want to be clear about that. I'm not taking any shots at anyone that does that, because there are levels to this.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? However, that's not the route that we're taking.
Yeah.
You know, it's about, like I said, and I say all the time, it's about putting these kids on the platform to be seen, to be recognized, to get what they deserve. These kids work hard, man. You know what I mean? I'll never take credit for all the work that a kid puts in.
That's right.
Regardless of what position we put them in, it's not, I got that kid that. No, that kid busts his ass to get that.
Yeah.
I just helped him along the way. I pointed him in the right direction.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, us coming into this, being competitive, I know it's going to surprise a lot of people. There's a lot of people talking, both good and bad, which is fine. That comes with anything new. You know what I mean? That comes with anything new. And honestly, I welcome it. Like, let's have a conversation. Why do you feel badly about it?
Yeah.
Or why do you feel like it's going to fail? Like, I'm open to conversation with anyone, just because that's the place I'm in life. Like, or the confrontation, you can miss me with all of that. Like, it's not that deep for me to have issues with another AAU program if all of our goal is the same thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there's no room for the issues if we're on the same thing.
Yeah.
A kid plays for me, a kid plays for you. I don't care. As long as you're putting that kid in a position to be successful.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
And it's funny that he says that. Like, this is not we'll see. Like, we were just talking. Those pretty much our teams are all developed. We have not full rosters, so that's why we have open runs and tryouts, because we need a couple of pieces. But like, the nucleus of a lot of these teams is already established. We went into winter, right, with one team. 8th grade, that wasn't even supposed to be active and online until the spring, because they was just so dope and they just had so much talent. And now coming into the spring, from the 4th through the 11th, we're pretty much done. Like, this was months and months and months of collaborations to getting kids into gyms for workouts, putting rosters together, to coaches, to gyms. Like, this just wasn't, we just want to play basketball and we'll figure it out. No, you can't. Once you're in the gym, it's too late.
Yeah.
You know, you got to do it before we get in the gym. So we did that. And I would like to just say, the staff is so dope. The crew is so dope. It's almost like we like the Wu-Tang Clan or AAU. Like, we got some really good, talented guys that really come together like the Wu-Tang Clan. And
don't get us wrong. Team Unknown is gonna come out and put out the best squad on that court. We're not trying to make 5 teams of 1 grade. We're gonna go out. First year is not an experimental year. We have a few squads. We're gonna go out there, make Team Unknown known, and then move forward from there. But a lot of guys are gonna be surprised. For instance, my 2023 team, I'm only taking kids that have a 3.2 GPA or higher.
Wow.
I'm going into tournaments that's going to be live period, and we're going to expose these players through social media.
Yep.
With your help, my help, Team Unknown, Coach Ev. We have a lot of great guys that are going to expose these kids, and it's going to happen sooner than later. So with that being said, tryouts is around the corner. If you think you have the game, bring it. Don't bring your name because your name is popular. Bring your game because we're picking the best. We're going to these tournaments and we're gonna be known. So with that being said, bring it. Bring it.
When are tryouts for everyone that's
So Monday,
this Monday actually, when this will be airing and released. We're having our middle school tryouts this Monday coming at the Elite Skills Club. And our high school tryouts, we're looking, well, not tryouts, but open runs, where everyone's still being in season. We're trying to hold off a little bit. You know what I mean? Because certain rules, certain coaches don't want you trying out. But we will be having open run information coming soon for high school, though. Like, very soon. Like, within this week, there'll be a few open runs. You know what I mean? So
we have dates, but we didn't want to confuse the public.
Right.
So after Monday, or I think on Monday, we decided we'll put the second session out. We just didn't want to put it all out now. So like I said, after Monday, we'll see, what the remaining balance is, and then we'll take it from there. But
we're definitely trying to do something different. We're not going to go into the regular tournaments that everyone goes to. We're going to go outside the box, and we're going to bring the teams that we feel is best, put them in the right tournaments. For instance, the team that started, the 8th grade team that no one knows about, the Team Unknown, they have talent that can probably have like 4 or 5 guys that can go Division I if they stick through it. Not saying that they will, but I'm just saying there's enough talent there.
The fun thing about that team is it's sort of where the name Team Unknown came from. Like, they're super talented kids that no one knows, no one talks about, no one's seeking after. So it's like for them to go out there and compete. We jumped in a few zero gravity tournaments this past fall and won every game by 30, even playing up a grade. You know what I mean? So these are kids that are talented. And now granted, zero gravity's competition is up and down. You never know what you're going to get. However, they was successful playing at an organized, recognized tournament with nobody knowing who's on the team. You know what I mean? Even kids that was like, he's not that good and got overlooked. Like, those are the kids we're doing it for. Now, are there going to be some familiar names that come out? Because of relationships that, the circle has? Absolutely. Like, I know that kid. He's pretty good. But there's also going to be that kid that you see and like, who the hell is that? Where'd he come from? Where they get this 6'8", 9th grader that's windmilling in East Bay dunks and like, because it's happening. You know what I mean? I don't say that as an example. I say that as get ready. You know what I mean? So I'm just excited, man. I'm excited.
And I like that. I like not having. I like call them what you want, late bloomers, unknown kids, because like we teach the kids like there's no pressure on you. So go out there and be loose, be comfortable.
And I think I mentioned that the last time you and I spoke. Like, I always take the second team. No matter where I coach, no matter what I do. Like at Rocky Hill, I opted into taking that second team. When I was with Team New England, I chose the second teams every year I coached. I'm bigger on development, both as a person and as a basketball player. And obviously you still have to coach, even with talent. But it teaches me that I still have a lot to learn when it comes to coaching, regardless of how long I've been doing it or who I've been around or any minor successes that I've had. I still got a hell of a lot to learn. And with me coaching those kids that need to be taught, it pushes me to learn in the process. That's why. So it could be selfish that I choose those second teams, but like I said, it makes me better, and in turn, I can make them better.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
So that's who we do it for. We do it for
says
those
a lot
quote
about
unquote
it,
B
too.
teams.
yeah, it does, yeah. You have patience and you want to do the development.
Yeah,
and
the
that-
development, that's big.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of talent. I mean, there's a lot of talent in this region. You just gotta put it all on this one roof and figure it out.
It
and
has
just
to be cultivated.
yeah.
It takes time, man,
Yeah.
you know, and I know it's a short window, but it's a lot of time, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? From that 7th grade to 10th grade, it goes by in a flash.
Yeah,
It's a
it does.
very short
Really
window.
does, yeah.
It does.
But it's still a lot of time. It's still 3 to 4 years. Like a lot can be done if people are willing to buy in and do the work.
Yeah, and you have to have people, because of that window, you have to have people in place that can navigate those waters for you to help you figure it out. You know, you have to build those, like you said, I'm on the phone. You know, my phone, I gotta walk around the house with a portable charger, because if I'm not talking to this guy or that guy, this guy from this, I mean, I don't even want to name drop because it's ridiculous, from the prep school level to the college level to other AAU programs to other affiliated companies.
Yeah.
And you have to pave the way so when you do have somebody that meets the specs of a school or a program or this and that, they don't have to figure it out, because it's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough. Like I'm you know, with my oldest son, my 2 oldest sons, I had to like figure it out. But you know what I say? I'm gonna figure it out.
Yeah.
So when those parents come over there, yeah, they gotta figure it out within their household, but they don't have to reinvent the wheel. You know, now they have options, and that's where wealth comes from. A lot of people think wealth is money. No, wealth is having options, because that's what makes you rich and free.
Yeah.
Right? Because if you only have one thing, one product, there's no wealth in there and there's no options. You kind of locked in. But if you have like a smorgasbord, metaphorically speaking, of choices that you can select from, that's when you're really rich.
Yeah. So
And the thing that sets us apart as well is we got training development. We got a facility that the kids will go to, like Coach Corey Wright and the elite skills clubs.
Mandated to go to.
Yeah. So we have our own gym too. Let's talk about that. We didn't even talk about we have our own gym.
The skill development piece is going to be factored into your practice days.
Yes.
So the ultimate goal is 2 practice days and 1 skill day that's required. It's not an optional skill day. On Wednesdays, this is your skill day. You go there, your team will be there, possibly another team, and you get better. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So the practices are, no, let's get done what we need to get done as a team. Then individually, you go out here to this gym on your skill day and you get better on your personal skills or individual skills.
Absolutely.
So the format, I think, is a little different. There's other programs doing it. Not saying like we made this up,
Yeah.
but I think it's so important, again, to the development.
Yeah, strength and conditioning, all of those things.
And these are all people that we have in staff.
Yeah.
Like down to once we start traveling for tournaments, there's a physical trainer that will be traveling with us.
We have that, yeah.
Wow.
So you get banged up in a game, all right, go see, I won't say any names, but
Yeah.
go see the person, the physical trainer.
Yeah.
She'll work on you, get you ready for the next game, and go from there.
Yeah, let's talk about that, because that looks a lot different than, you know, no knock to a tournament. Like a tournament has a facilitator when you get injured.
Yeah.
But then what does that, if you're on the road, what does that really look like back at the hotel?
Right.
Yeah.
Or do you have to really have access to that trainer when you're only in the gym? So like he said, like, I don't want to name drop, but that particular person will be in the hotel. So if you need extra attention, they'll be at the gym. They'll be back at the hotel after the game. So those are things that you really have to like kind of say, wow, that's really dope, because like if I'm not a therapist, right? Because what do we say? Oh, put somebody on it.
Yeah.
But no, you need somebody that really, yeah, that's the baseline. But you need somebody that really say, oh, we need a little bit more,
Yeah.
or we don't need that, or this or that. So we have that person, and that's going to be pretty cool.
that's awesome. That's so cool. Yeah. And then, oh, go ahead.
When you have 10 guys in the room that have multiple resources and that have the experience, the resources are endless. And not only that, but the knowledge and the guidance is ridiculous. So with that being said, the group that we have is destined to flourish. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's going to take time, but I don't see it going past spring. I don't see it going past spring.
Humbly.
Yeah,
But
and then not to we're not big on micromanaging. I'm not big on it.
Yeah.
People say, what tournaments are you guys playing in? I said, well, leave that at the discretion of the coach. Because if this coach wants to do this tournament and this one doesn't, let the program necessarily shouldn't dictate what the skill set or what the ideology of the coach wants to do.
Yeah.
Right? Because this program, these group of kids might not be ready for that level. Well, these guys are ready for that level of basketball. So let those 1, 2, 3 teams go out there and rock out with these other guys. Maybe we might got to dial it back a little bit. That's where that development comes in a little bit more.
Yeah.
Right? Because at the end of the day, you want them to taste success.
Yeah.
You want them to fight through adversity, but you don't want to break their spirit.
Yeah. Exactly.
And sometimes when we going into tournaments and that team unknown, we beat a team by 60, 70. And the parents are looking at me
In the
like,
championship.
and the parents are like, can I talk to you after the game? And the coach is mad at me. And I said, yo, we're not changing who we are. You got to figure that out.
Yeah.
So a couple of parents approached me. I was like, can I ask you a question? Your team is tough. You guys work hard. We like what you're doing. What's wrong with our program? I said, that's a loaded question. You asking me that question? He said, yeah. I said, your coach can't coach.
Yeah.
They're teaching bad basketball and they're stealing your money.
Yep.
And they said, thank you, coach. And I said, that's no disrespect to them. Because there was little things that they could have offset what I was doing, and they weren't even doing it. So I was like, you know what? I'm not changing who we
Why
are.
change what we're
Right.
doing?
So why would I change to benefit you?
Yeah.
What does that teach your kid? And then I do see that with other programs. They're like, yo, that's a little too harsh. Yo, life is harsh. Life isn't fair.
Yeah.
So does every kid really get a trophy in life?
No.
And these are the things that people are, and I get the concept in today's world, but that really doesn't prepare the kids for the real world.
Yeah.
Right? Like everybody doesn't get a trophy. That's a false ideology. We got to
Right.
stop utilizing that. Now, they're kids, right? So do we really want to hurt them? No. But you want to be honest with them. And those are the things that you see if you're not honest with the kids and the parents. You may be able to get away with it in the beginning, but bad things start to happen down the line.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, it's a small window. If somebody's not been truthful to you or just been taking your money or doing whatever, and your 4 years is gone, there's a lot of things I can get back, right? If somebody breaks into my car, I can fix my window. If somebody steals it, I could buy a new one. Somebody steals my sneaker, you can't get back time.
Yeah.
You can't get, once it's gone, once your eligibility is gone,
Progress.
it's gone.
Yeah.
So those are things that, people need to be aware of.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I feel like I feel like I'm in a TED talk. I just want to hang out with you guys. I'd love to get the other staff members, all of you guys in one room together. Yeah, because this is absolutely just amazing because you guys are you can just tell the passion. I mean, I've been saying it over and over again, but the passion is just unbelievable and so inspirational. I just have a couple more questions and then we'll call it. But I want to know, you have your own gym. What gym is it? Just so people know where you guys would be working out.
So Elite Skills Sports Club
Yeah.
in West Greenwich.
Yep.
You can Google that or go on your map. It's not hard to find.
Yeah.
Um,
Social media, everything else.
We're there all the time. We're in A gym, so
Yeah,
that's
A
our
gym.
hub. That's
Yeah.
where we kind of rock out at. It's a lot of good training going on in there. So
Yeah.
it's not easy. So like you said, if you come, bring your A game because everybody ain't getting the trophy.
Yes.
So, but that's what iron sharpens iron, right? So
Yeah.
that's what we do to our kids. We put them through a brutal regimen because practice is supposed to be hard.
Yeah.
The games are supposed to be easy.
Yeah.
And that's what people don't
Yeah.
understand.
Yeah. Exactly.
And those are the things like, coach, this is practice. Like Alan Allen said, but practice prepares you for battle.
Yeah.
Right? Once you're on the battlefield, you don't want to be trying to figure it out because then, like I said, it's too late.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And then how
And
did
then
you connect everyone? What was the process of just getting, these two guys as well as the whole group
Yeah.
together? Yeah.
Well, I take this. Well, after I separated from the last program I was with, I got approached by Todd, the owner of Expressions, to then bring Expressions Rhode Island as a middle school program to Rhode Island. He felt like there was a void with that program being partially out of state. So he asked me to step in, and I agreed under the terms of wanting to give my guys an opportunity. Coach Rob and Coach Ern had already been running with the team unknown name throughout the summer, just putting these guys in little tournaments here and there because it was kids that didn't have a home at the time. So they put them together. And initially, there was talks of our middle school division being Expressions Rhode Island and 8th grade up being Team Unknown for certain political reasons. But it eventually just made more sense just to go Team Unknown from top to bottom.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The affiliation and connection is still there. However, we got the freedom to operate how we see fit.
Yeah.
And then, like Coach Rob said, a lot of phone calls. And again, I'll give Coach Rob the credit for making those. You know, Alex was looking for somewhere to go. He felt like his past situation had run its course and wanted somewhere else to go. We got a home for you. You know, the Connecticut situation, I can't really speak to that, but there's connections between Coach Rob and Corey Wright and those guys out there. Corey trains a few of those players. He was looking for a situation for his team. Come on over. Yeah. It just kind of happened organically, just in speaking to people and like, hey, listen, this is what we're trying to do. Oh, are you? Well, I was looking to do, well, come on over. You're a solid dude. You're a stand-up person, you know, with the right intentions. Come on board. Let's do it together.
Absolutely. Yeah, so we got staff, group of guys from Massachusetts,
right,
Rhode Island, Connecticut, and in New York. So
New Jersey.
And New Jersey. So people will say, well, listen, I was just with, and he was there. We were just with the New York guys down at Main Hoops in Baltimore. We were just there. So we all get together. If we all can't get in the same room, which most of the time we do, we hop on a Zoom, we make phone calls, we got a group chat. So, you know, you need multiple layers to be successful, just like a basketball team, right?
Yeah.
Not everybody can put the ball in the hole, right? You need somebody to get that lockdown D. You need a guy that can penetrate and kick out, right? You need a guy just to be able to say, oh, let's go get it and get people motivated. That's what a team is about, right? And that's what I try to bring to the table. It's like we all got a special skill set that is dope.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have been successful in my past occupation if my superiors would have micromanaged me, right? Mm-hmm. We're adults. So like they used to tell me, until you give me reasons not to trust you and micromanage you, do what you're supposed to do. Do what you know what you're supposed to do as an adult. Do your job. And then that's when you get the most creativity. Right? So if you don't have guys, if you just want a yes man, or you want guys, you want to put concepts out there and you have no intentions on collecting them, then you only get one stale version of a product. But it's almost like a Skittles, right? All these metaphors, right? Open the bag up. There's all kind of colors in there, and that's what makes Skittles. Yeah. And that's what we do. We do that type of stuff. So, because I might be thinking blue, they might be thinking red. But I would have never been thinking red if they weren't in the room, and red is better than blue. So those are things
about our team color argument.
Yeah, so you know, those are the things, you know. And
you know, funny. I could give you a quick funny story from my point of view, right? Being the guy that came in a little late to the whole scene of Rhode Island, because I was a Rhode Island guy. I played for Rhode Island Breakers at the age of 13. They were probably the only program around. Coach Dave Vitale was a big inspiration in my life. So with that being said, I feel like all the Rhode Island guys have some sort of Rhode Island Breakers connection. I know Coach Mitch coached a little bit there, right? Rob did, Coach Ernest, Coach Corey Wright played, I played. So that background connection was just a solid connection from the guy that ran that program. With that being said, us together collectively, we have a lot of experience and we kind of know how it runs. So with the right guys in the right places, the sky's the limit for us, you know, and not only the sky, because we could keep it going, but to me, that core, that understanding, that background just gives us all an understanding of where we're at. And then you have Coach Mitch that's been coaching for years, Coach Corey Wright that's been in programs for years, Coach Rob that has played in New York. With all these guys, you can imagine the intensity of tryouts when it comes.
Yeah.
And you can imagine the kids that are coming with following Coach Ev, Coach Ernest. Coach Ernest has been around for like 18 years, and I think he was a walk-on in Providence, if I'm not mistaken.
It was my first introduction to AAU basketball with the Young Bucks a long time ago.
Really?
Yeah, the Young Bucks AAU program is kind of what inspired Expressions Elite. And the owner, Todd, will tell you that himself.
Yeah.
You know, he was like, yeah, they kind of inspired me. That was Corey Wright Sr.'s program.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Corey Wright Sr. and Coach Earn had the AAU program, and Terrell Robinson, the freshman coach at Mount Pleasant.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, so that was it. That was my introduction to this about 20 years ago. Like,
Wow.
First
And it's
Holy crap.
crazy
That's
because
crazy.
we go way back.
Yeah.
I was 14 years old, and I met Terrell Robinson coming from New York, playing on Mount Pleasant team with me and Corey Brown, which was one of the best years of my life. Coming back and seeing them still doing it makes it all worth it.
Absolutely amazing. It's absolutely amazing. So everything that you guys are doing is just amazing. I'm very excited for Team Unknown to get started. I can't wait to see all the teams and everything that you guys are going to be doing. But I mean, I know the kids that are part of that team are going to be in great hands with you guys as well, the other staff, just the guys that you name dropping and as well as part of the team. The staff is also great guys as well too. So just very excited to actually sit down and have this conversation with you guys, and very excited for your program and everything. And I definitely, hopefully, anything else I can do to help you guys out in any way, I'd be happy to do it.
And
Yeah.
for the
Put your word
platform.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Appreciate that.
Real quick, to any kid that's out there that's looking for a program and wants to exceed, we are here. We're giving you the opportunity. Don't miss out, because once we get rolling, we're not stopping. We're going to keep going. So if you're that young man that's been on a team that's been pushed aside or don't feel like you're in the right place, come on over.
Parents too. You
More
know,
than
for some
welcome.
advice.
Parents as well.
Coaches,
We're open.
We're established, but we're open and we'll figure it out. Let's have a conversation.
Absolutely.
I think the dialogue is important.
Yeah, I'll speak for myself. I'm still looking for 2 middle school coaches, man. So if you're interested in coaching some young guys, reach out to me, man.
Absolutely. I'm still trying to fit the pieces too. So if you're a 2023 guy that you think you got it, come on over.
That's it. But we're gonna have a big turnout. I get a lot of solicitations on that Unknown Instagram, and once we're in the gym, we'll see what it's about.
And be on the lookout for that Team Unknown documentary too.
Yeah.
That's actually coming out too.
It's
So.
actually coming soon.
Oh,
yeah,
is it really?
Yeah, they have a documentary. Yeah, so
Planning
that's
on filming
dope.
all spring, so we're putting that out there.
Awesome. That's amazing.
I did that so we actually have to do it now. Like, you can't just stay in Iberia.
Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely appreciate you, man. I was talking to the guys. Might have to come around and give you a shirt and put you somewhere, because
Yeah.
you're
you
a
have
great,
to.
you're a great voice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I would love
yeah,
to do that. Yeah,
that'd
whatever
be
you guys
awesome.
need. Yeah.
You're a great voice in the community. A lot of kids like you. You touch a lot of kids. You're able to reach a lot of kids. And with that being said, I know you interview a lot of our guys and a lot of us coaches. We appreciate your platform.
Thank you
Yeah,
so much. I appreciate that. It
And
means
big
a lot.
shout out to our peoples from Nike, just taking the time out to just
Talks.
have those talks, those grassroots.
Listen,
believe.
there's a lot of
Yeah, that's dope. So so I don't want to be remiss in just giving those guys a shout out, because a wise man once told me, if you never tell another man how you feeling, then how they supposed to know. So it's a lot of people that I missed. I'll get you on the next round. But no, we got a lot of people, organizations, companies, establishments, parents that just really are just backing us.
No, absolutely.
See what about. So big shout out to the 13th World.
Yeah.
We did our fundraiser
Absolutely.
up there at he owns it's actually my neighbor. He owns the most scariest haunted mansion.
That was humble.
in
That was
Rhode
a humble
Island.
brag.
So he's opening up a second site in Massachusetts. So that was really cool to have the Unknown kids come down and dress up as zombies
Everything
and
else.
purge.
That's awesome. That's so cool.
So yeah, so big shout out to those guys because they were really that was dope.
We got to get you some high-ranking people on
Yeah.
the show.
Yeah, that'd be
we
great.
got them. I just haven't. I didn't want to pull it out yet until I spoke to them.
Right.
There's some names that I could really just,
Some nice things.
you know. But there's a lot of people. You know, you talk about humility, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that sit in some big chairs that just want to just watch from afar.
Yeah.
They don't really want to be out there, and I respect that. I definitely respect that. But like we said, at some point, somebody just had to be a face, and we had discussions because they weren't arguments. And people was like, well, who's going to be the CEO? Who's going to be the CFO? Who's going to be the president? Who? I don't want that. I said, well, guys, somebody has to do it.
Yeah.
So as much as I love to coach, it was brought to my attention that I got to do a lot more than administrative stuff and less basketball. But if that's what it takes to be successful, that's what I got to do.
That's why he's the man.
Yeah, I love it. I
So,
love
you know, I'm going to be sidelined. I'll be there.
Yeah.
But, you know, I'm going to have to answer those calls. I'm going to have to make sure that things get done. You know, the president is he's going to have to make sure these things get established and this guy and that guy because you need those people in places to make the product look good on the floor.
Yeah.
So it doesn't work the other way around.
Yeah.
You know, so, no, it's dope. It's
And I
dope.
know you're trying to get out of here, but again, thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
surprisingly, a lot of people have been reaching out from high places unexpectedly. Like, we haven't done anything yet.
Yeah.
So for us to be getting reached out to, like, it just shows the quality of the people that we have around us, man.
That's awesome.
Like,
Integrity.
like, when we're able to sit down with some of the people that Rob's been able to sit down with without putting any product out or them seeing anything,
Wow.
says a lot.
Yeah,
Like,
that's huge.
We've been able to communicate with some of the people that
Yeah.
a lot of other programs haven't been able to get in a room with in years.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
we're definitely fortunate for the network,
Yeah.
man.
But my last metaphor, no, I'm full of them, right?
The skill was one you gotta keep, coach.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that one too.
Yeah, I gotta say that one.
That was a little hey, yo.
A lot of people could get in the door, but can you stay in the building?
Right.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes getting to the door is hard enough,
Yeah.
but that's when the work just starts. Can you stay in the building? And you can't lose your vision
Yeah.
and your focus. Because everybody, like you said, you get in the door, you get excited. Shit, when I got in the door, I tightened my shoes up a little tighter. Because I know we in for a ride now.
Yeah.
Because now, be careful what you ask for, because you just might get it.
Might get it.
And those things are, all these metaphors that I put out, those are things that I live my life by. And you can't lose focus of that. Because when I'm dead and gone, how will I be remembered? As somebody that just kind of went along and got along or didn't really stand for something?
Absolutely.
Those are the things you really got to look at. Like, what is going to be your legacy?
We're
What is
getting
your-
old now, man.
Yeah, we're getting old. So we've been there, done all those things. So like now it's about really establishing a name or what are you going to leave behind. You want to leave a mark on the world. And I think that's what the universe does. And he's put you on this planet. You have to figure it out. You want to leave a mark. And at the end of the day, if it's just helping kids get to the next level and get out of bad situations or teaching them, that's a pretty good thing to have on my resume.
Yeah, absolutely.
The moral of the story is getting an education out of it.
Absolutely.
If you go beyond and above, good for you.
I got people
At least you
calling
got
me
you.
now. Look at that.
Yeah.
Oh, shout me out.
Never stops.
Well, thank you so much, guys.
Hey, thank you.
This has been great. A lot of fun. Great conversation. Yeah. Thank you guys. I
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.